Make your gummy candies better with science!
I think we're stretching the science a bit. We just really wanted to make gummy bears.
We are using science to make the best gummy candies.
If it's your first time watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the fun.
We have all the ingredients we need, and as soon as we put on our safety glasses, we have the go-ahead from our Easter Island overlords.
I'm not entirely comfortable with the implication that we wouldn't be safe unless specifically told to be by someone in authority.
Welcome to the real world, sister.
Anyways, what kind of recipe are we going to be using? Because there are a lot of gummy candy recipes.
We are going to be making all of them. Or 5, whichever one comes first.
So basically, we'll just have buckets and buckets of gummy candies just sitting here waiting to be eaten.
Yes, no. No eating the scientific samples, unless for documentation purposes. Strangely, the same principle applies when working with mercury samples. All the different recipes call for a few of the same ingredients, namely water, which we'll get later, gelatin, and some sort of flavoring.
But there seems to be no consensus on which recipe is the best.
We will also need something to put the mixture into so that it forms nice gummy shapes. So we've got some Lego molds that I got on Amazon, and we have some classics like gummy worms and gummy bears, and also some fish-themed ones. Let's start out with method number 1, the one popularized by the King of Random. We need half a cup of cold water, yes, it does have to be cold, and pour in a quarter cup of corn syrup. Stir until smooth.
The theory behind the corn syrup is that it gives the gummies a smoother texture.
Then mix in 2 packets of gelatin and 1 package of Jell-O.
Give it a few minutes to allow the gelatin to bloom and stir it occasionally.
Heat the mixture up on medium to low and keep stirring occasionally for around 5 minutes.
When the syrup is liquefied, pour it directly into a mold of whatever size you want.
Let it sit for 10 minutes and then skim the top foam off. We are using 2 different methods to prep our silicone molds. The first method is using some canola oil cooking spray. The second method is to sprinkle some cornstarch directly into the mold. We are using some clean ketchup containers to squirt into the molds. Let it sit for around 5 hours, then enjoy.
Method number 2.
The something fruit method.
This one is super easy. Just half a cup of fruit juice.
And 2 tablespoons of gelatin and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Mix all the ingredients into a small saucepan and mix until the gelatin and sugar dissolve completely. If any foam forms while stirring, skim it off and discard.
Make sure you don't use any fresh juice of tropical fruits like papaya, kiwi, or mangoes, as they contain an enzyme that will eat the gelatin.
When it's finished, pour into molds the same as before. Let it sit for a few hours, or you can refrigerate it to make it go a little bit faster. Method number 3, the sour is power method.
Citric acid is the key.
Apparently this stuff is really sour. Oh. Oh. Ah, my jaw's locking.
Add 1 package of Jell-O and 10 grams of gelatin to a small pot. Put in as much citric acid as you want.
A quarter teaspoon is going to make it sour, but go ahead and put in as much as you want. In our case, a lot.
Add in 1/3 of a cup of cold water and stir. Then let it bloom for 5 minutes. Heat it on medium heat until done.
Pour them into the molds as needed. Method number 4.
The quick and easy microwave candy method.
Allow the gelatin to bloom for 5 minutes in half a cup of cold water. Add another quarter cup of water and put in the microwave for 1 minute. Then mix in the Jell-O and stir until clear.
Put it in the molds and refrigerate for 2 hours.
Method number 5, the it's complicated but you can eat it faster method.
This one is similar to the first one, but there are a few more steps. We'll need our sugar and gelatin and some sort of flavored liquid. We're using Powerade.
We're also going to need corn syrup and citric acid. Yep, there it is. Combine the sugar, gelatin, and Powerade in a heat-proof container and let it bloom for about 5 minutes.
When it's finished, stick it in the microwave for 30 seconds, then stir gently.
Microwave it again for 15 seconds and then stir. If the mixture is not melted, continue in 5-second increments until it is.
Add in the corn syrup and citric acid and stir gently.
Let it sit for 10 minutes and then skim the top foam off.
Pour it directly into a mold of whatever size you want. Then put it in the refrigerator and chill it for 1 hour, and then the gummies are ready to eat.
While we let these set, we'll go ahead and explain to you exactly what gelatin is, because like most things that you don't understand, the basis is swine.
Well, most gelatin is produced from pig skin, which contains about 30% collagen by weight. Collagen is the connective tissue protein that gives strength to muscles and tendons and resiliency to an animal's skin and bones. To make gelatin, pig skin is soaked in dilute acid for about 24 hours, which unravels the cross-linking protein bonds in the collagen. The resulting free protein chains are extracted, filtered, purified, and drained into granules, powder, that are around 90% gelatin, 8% water, and 2% salts and glucose.
When the gelatin blooms, it is soaking up the cold water. It has to be cold at this point because hot water completely destroys the gelatin's ability to set. Heat causes them to initially unravel and disperse just like any protein. They never form new bonds though, so the liquid in which they're dispersed stays fluid. Because gelatin proteins are long and stringy, they tend to become interwoven, causing the hot liquid in which they're suspended to thicken but not completely solidify when warm. As gelatin cools, as in our gummy candies here, the protein strands line up next to each other and twist into long ropes, transforming the liquid into a firm gel. It takes at least another 4 hours to let these set, so we'll be back. The corn syrup is amazing. I hate it when no one gets my puns. Heh. So we have allowed these to dry for 7 days. The longer you let them dry, just open air, then the chewier they're going to get. So hopefully a little bit more like the store-bought ones. These, we might have left them a little bit too long. They might be a little bit too chewy, but that's fine. Okay, first up is the first one we tried, which is the one that the King of Random made first. Let's try it. So they're chewy. Good flavor on them though.
Yeah.
We did use the cooking oil to spray the molds with, and it seems like the cooking oil has mostly disappeared. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. They definitely are chewier than store-bought gummies.
Method number 2, the something something fruit method.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes. First reaction, imagine saran wrap wuzzled up into a ball with no flavor. I'm getting that strong cooking oil flavor. Okay, these not so good. Eliana just threw out the rest of her candy there, so probably don't make that method unless you're one of those healthy people. Okay, method number 3, the sour is power. We put a lot of citric acid into this, so let's see what they taste like. Much more like, That's pretty good.
These are good. Those are very
Quite sour. Ooh, but good flavor, and they're not super rubbery, which is good.
Nice.
Okay, so then the fourth method, this is the one that took the least amount of time to actually make. So they're definitely rubberier.
I'm not getting a whole bunch of flavor.
No, not a whole lot of flavor there, but definitely better than that garbage.
True.
So that brings us to our last, which takes a little bit more work, but you can eat them faster method. So they're chewy, but you can actually bite through them, which is great. Let's rank these from the best to the worst. Thanks for watching. We have new content coming out every single week, so stay tuned.
If you like what you saw, find that like button down below and stay tuned because bloopers are coming up.
Fish-themed ones. Hey, what's the difference between a fish and a guitar? You can't tune a fish. I am ashamed.
Should be.
What's the difference between an octopus and a guitar? One's made of wood, one's made of gooey stuff. Stop me now. Oh, wow, I'm sweating. Oh. Ah. Wow. Okay, and I've been told in no uncertain terms that I am not allowed to make any more puns about gummy candies whatsoever. So, what we have here is we have some fish shapes so that we can be more sophisticated. We have some bear shapes, which I can't eat yet because they're not finished. Unbearable. She's learning.